Fair Leader and Union County Local Source, advertised January 7, 2016. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and promptly posted on the Municipal Hall Bulletin Board, following the office of the Municipal Clerk, informing the public of time and place according to provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231 PL 1975. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Good evening. Mr. Goriello.
Yes, Mayor. A few things. On the last year's DOT projects, it's Beach Street, Beach Avenue, the trees should be planted this week, so that will finish up that project. We took bids last week on the sidewalk program. We had one bid. My recommendation was to go out for the bids again. It's very difficult to tell whether that bid's competitive or not. No other, nothing else to compare to. So, but I'll make some contacts. I've already had some contact with another contractor, so hopefully we'll get 3 or 4 bids next time. Bids are going to be received in another week and a half, March 31st. And on the DOT projects, we're going to be receiving bids on April 7th. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Goriello?
I have a question. So at least the numbers are going on the right way, at least with the sidewalk, right? Wasn't it 90,000 now? It's
Yeah, we picked up a little bit. We also have a larger contract.
Yes,
For
yeah, you're
who's
right.
on growing too.
It was higher.
Okay, but what do you, Don, what do you think's going on? Why is it that?
Well, you pay a lot more for concrete work when you're doing it all over town and individual locations where the contractor has to cut out a lot of roots and stuff, so you're not paying $5.25, $5.25 per square foot. So you just got to get somebody that's a little more hungry, and hopefully we'll get some better.
But that's really more what I meant. Why, how come it's only one bid? Why do you think each time we've only drawn one bid?
I don't know. It's not the most desirable work. It's slow work. So you know, it's not the kind of stuff that people want to do. If there's other work out there, then they're not going to do it.
And was this the same bidder as last time or no?
No.
No, so we should have a different bidder. All right, thank you.
I have a quick question. Willow Avenue, the water installation, how far is that going to go down?
Well, it goes right down to the back of Banks Columbus.
Right through that whole area?
Yeah.
Before you get...
I think they're pretty much done with the main, and they've knocked off a couple of blocks of the services already. So I would think another 2 or 3 weeks they should be out of the excavation side of it. They'll probably wait a little bit before they come back into the road, and we'll talk to them about that once we see how badly they tear the roads up.
Okay.
Particularly the roads we resurfaced. Hopefully we can get them to resurface a good part of the road. See how that works. They said they agreed that if things work out, they might want to do that. So.
Okay, thank you. All righty, we'll continue on. Mr. Renard?
Thanks, Mayor. The only thing I have for you is there's an ordinance for introduction tonight revising the rate schedule for commercial sewage. The calculation is, so that you know, it's based on the increase in Rollway Valley's charges to us. It's not based on what the percentage of the increase to us is. It's based on how much they allocate to, it may come out the same, I don't know. It's based on how much they allocate to flow, BOD, and solids. So it came out to about 7%, so I adjusted the ordinance to increase it by the amount by which the Rollway Valley Sewerage Authority assessment increase. We do that every year when they send us the letter that tells us what the increase is.
Any questions for Mr. Renard? Hearing none. Ms. Ariema, you have a question for us this evening?
Well, I just want to update you on the court matter real quick. I sent you an email, so the last part of the email that I was concerned about concerning the part-time person. The part-time person hasn't, status was still, the part-time person will be in work on Monday, March 28th, and will fill in. I should know more about what I said in the email then, but Monday morning you're not in a critical situation that I was worried about. What I would need from you is if it's okay, is permission to contact these retired court administrators and find out what kind of conditions they would work under, and also, I guess, to post and advertise for new court administrators. So that's what I need to do if you tell me to do it. You're not gonna, there's gonna be somebody in the office, it's not gonna be closed, that's what I was worried about, and that's not, at least for next week, that's not a problem. It might be a problem the week after, but
Well, as we
one day
know,
at a time.
as we know, court, there's day court, April the 4th, and there's evening court, April the 18th.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean, I'm talking about the office,
General
opening
working,
the, you have to staff the office. The court has, when I say the court, I don't mean in
This
here,
here.
I mean the office is the
Okay.
court. You have to, you can't not have the office also.
At this point, I think I'm going to ask the finance committee to do this with Ms. Arena. The council has a general opinion at this point.
Well, we have to do something now.
Just, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So I would support what the clerk is proposing. And then Tina, just one thing I would add to it, do you think it's worth contacting any of the local courts too? Perhaps they have part-timers
We
or,
can do that.
just as an idea.
We can definitely do that, and they do fill in. In fact, Marty brought someone in yesterday and trained her in there. There's definitely gonna be people that can fill in. It's the long-term thing you guys gotta think about. You don't have to think about it right this minute, but what I was worried about is that there would be nobody here when that. That is not, at least for this week, not a problem. Next week is not a problem.
And I'll advertise.
Yeah.
Then I think at that point, the finance committee should take over at that point. Then I think we might be looking into other things in the future. Just leave it at that.
The court administrator wrote the notice, it goes only on the court's websites, and I'll get some resumes in, and then you guys can tell me what you want to do after that. And I'll call these girls retired, and I'll do what you said too, so we'll get some backup.
What are the hours?
The court hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 at the office, and then they have court twice a month, one time in the morning and one time at 5
Well,
o'clock.
we need coverage for the office primarily, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4.
Right, right. And this part-timer is going to do that for now, at least next week, and I'll keep you updated as I find out what's going to happen with that. So we just want to get notice of that. You give me permission to post a notice and contact alternate staff. I'll provide you the information via email. And the only other thing I have is, I sent an email to students in government. So for you new guys, it's a night where kids come in from school and they take over your roles. It's based on a mock council meeting like the one before you have. It's not any real business or anything, it's just for educational purposes. So the nights that the school said that they have open for the kids, because it's the 8th grade, well, 7th and 8th grades, but they're real busy this time of year. So they said Wednesday, May 11th, Tuesday, May 17th, or Wednesday, May 18th. So you have to pick one of those, then I tell the school, and then we write like a little script, and we send it to them, and then they come, and you have a pizza party, and it's all fun and stuff. So what night works best for everyone? He said May 11th, but
What night is that? Is that Tuesday?
May 11th is a Wednesday.
May 11th is Wednesday.
Second Wednesday.
Yeah. There is no other,
Planning board on there?
no, planning board is May 25th. So these 3 dates on here, there's nothing in the room, so any one of them you can pick.
Yeah, I'm flexible.
I'll pencil in the 11th if that works for you, Mayor.
That's
Yeah,
right after,
okay.
that's the night after a council meeting, so you'll just mock that council meeting and do the mock of that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so everybody's good?
I'm good with that.
Great, I'll set that over. Okay.
Very good.
So what was that date?
Wednesday, May 11th.
Same time, 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Same station. Thank you.
Okay, that's all I have.
Are there any unfinished business before the council this evening? Any new business at this point? Hearing none, we'll continue on. Comments or matters for discussion from members of the council? Councilwoman Kukrow.
Nothing for me amazingly, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Martin?
Nothing, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Matthew?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Sarno?
Nothing for me.
Thanks.
Of course, leave it to Councilman Tedesco to break that to me.
I didn't call your name yet. Councilwoman Tedesco.
All right. So I have two items. One is that we've been invited to the Memorial Day Parade by Crawford yet again, which is wonderful. And so I believe our clerk usually lets them know that we will attend. So I, for one, of course, would support that. And I think we should give direction to the clerk tonight to make sure that Crawford knows we'll be joining them. The second item I have is that we've been forwarded, I believe, 2 requests for handicap parking signs, and I see no reason why we would not move forward on that. So I, for one, would like support in directing the clerk to put those forth that were forwarded to us by the clerk and the chief of police. That's all I have, Mayor.
You do want to direct him, he prepares the ordinance.
Okay, sure. Mr. O'Donnell, if you would prepare the ordinance for, it was 2 spaces,
Two
correct?
of them, Bob and I copied you. You have
Sure,
them.
I have them. Okay. We'll do.
Thank you.
Any further comments about the report by Councilman? Okay, Council President Bezzola.
I have nothing.
Wow. Thank you. Okay, continue on. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone. State your name and address. Limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Bill Nearstead, 320 Hickory. Mayor, as you know, I'm no longer a councilman, but I do represent the borough in a couple of places, so I do kind of have a couple of reports. So if I can ask your indulgence in more than 3 minutes, I
Just
appreciate it.
acknowledge the position in that committee.
Sure. The initial one is I'm the CDBG representative for the borough. So on March 10th, I represented the borough at the Union County CDBG Revenue Sharing Committee in Cranford. 19, I'm going to take some notes because some of the numbers might come in handy. The 19 participating municipalities submitted requests totaling over $8 million, with actual federal allocations totaling only $4,751,000. As you know, Garwood doesn't have any low moderate income census tracts, so it is only eligible for projects involving affordable housing, senior citizens, the handicapped, or blight areas. Garwood received a total of $15,000 for the Senior Citizens Social Services Program and $3,000 for the Senior Citizens Handyman Program. So it's a total of $18,000. I know we've discussed, the council has discussed previously submitted different requests, and in the past we requested funds for redevelopment studies. We've not been awarded funds. While I was not in the group that decided Garwood's funds, I was on the Public Improvements Committee, which awarded funds to towns like us that don't qualify for everything. These towns receive more funding, a minimum of $25,000, and Don, this is where you come in. A minimum of $25,000 for the construction of intersection ramps for the handicapped. They qualify because obviously they provide a service for the handicapped. As they may cost $4,000 each, it may not make sense to request them individually. I believe it would make sense for us to look on the north side of town, where the senior citizen housing complex and the school are located. Speak with Don about what intersections don't have ramps, and in tandem with proposed road improvements, coordinate NJDOT and CDBG funding. I think that's how we can get a better bang for the buck. I look forward to urge council to consider submitting different requests this year, and I look forward to working with you to do that. I know in the past Tina has brought up different ideas, but you don't expect when you go to this group that you're going to get too much, because as I said, we're not really a qualifying community. Obviously towns such as Linden, Rawway, Plainfield, they get much more money, but you know, we got $18,000 out of an allocation of $4,751,000. So it's tough, and as I said, we put in for redevelopments before, we haven't gotten funded. Maybe if we start putting some things different in, we can perhaps get more funds. So they're not, Tina, when do they actually do this year, do you know?
They're always due in November.
November.
Early December.
So
And
we do have
December.
time, but, you know, maybe we can think about that and come up with something else. And this is not a replacement of, but in addition to.
And the chairman of that committee's always been proactive with Garwood. He would not come talking with us, so.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
That's
he's done
true.
that in the past, so I would recommend that also, that, as he did the last time, to think out of the box.
He did say that, yes, he did. That is correct.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
senior allocation was $3,000. Was it $4,000 last year?
I think it was the same. I don't think I could be wrong, but I think it was the same amount, pretty sure.
Can you like ask for more money since
Oh,
we're not
sure.
getting pretty much anything
Well,
except for this? Can you
as
ask?
I reported, all communities in general went down for $450, so.
We can ask more money, and absolutely should.
Yes.
And we can do that. One of the things that the mayor alluded to was something that Tom Connell said. He goes, come up with something else. Fund these, but, you know, come up with something else. But can we put in more money? Absolutely, as long as we have programs, you know, behind it that would utilize it, absolutely.
All right, so then you can't ask for more money for the money they're allocating for these couple items then?
Not for this year.
All right, going forward though?
Going forward, we can. If we, the senior citizen social services program, if we were to develop another program under that, develop something under that, we can submit a request for additional funds.
Oh, okay.
As we know, there's no guarantee we get them, but if you, my always thing is if you don't ask, you're
Yes,
never going to get.
we know.
All right, so, you know, look forward to working with you on and I know you're the next in command, work together to try to pull something
I
up.
would love that.
Okay. The next one is the Raritan Valley Rail Coalition. On March 7th, I attended the Raritan Valley Line Rail Coalition meeting. To be honest with you, nothing much has changed in terms of the one-seat ride. Given New Jersey Transit's financial situation and the cost for the Hudson River Tunnel projects, we may not obtain additional one-seat direct rides to New York for quite some time. I reminded the group that regardless of that issue, Garwood remains the first stepchild on the Raritan Valley Line. I added daily morning stops, and Westfield has 25. Even Fanwood has 24. Want to guess how many Garwood has? We have 9. So while I believe the group must continue fighting for tunnel construction and the one-seat ride, and with anticipated development, we will be able to get more stops. We must not allow them to forget that Garwood is still not treated fairly. So I'll keep fighting for us there. And the last is just an update. I represented the borough at a meeting in Westfield a couple of years ago regarding the Grove Street. I call it the Grove Street project. I always forget the name of the side street, but it's at the end of Spruce where Grove starts in Westfield. A resident asked about the status of the project, located where Spruce becomes Grove in Westfield. For those who do not recall, this is a 16-unit townhouse development that includes 3 affordable housing units, a 19% ratio, just to let you know. Anyway, I learned that the developer who obtained the Westfield Planning Board approval for this project sold it to Elite Properties, the same developer who is constructing the Fanwood Crossing project. And while surveying crews were out there last week or the week before actually surveying, Westfield doesn't have a redeveloper's agreement with them yet. So they're not going to start construction imminently, but they probably will start before the end of the year. And that's it, Mayor. I thank everyone for
Thank
the
you
additional time.
for our updates.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to come to the microphone? Seeing none at this time? Yes.
Bill mentioned something. I always have to chuckle about government. Good evening, Mayor Lombardo, ladies and gentlemen of council. Mr. Dearcy was talking about intersection ramps, and they cost $4,000 each, and at least now I know the quantity of them. But I just want to tell you, like, through these intersection ramps that are being built is probably most likely being rebuilt. And this is government at work. The state mandated intersection ramps with a certain ratio slope, right? Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Penny, I'm sure he'll agree. So anyway, so we went ahead. Our area, Union County, went ahead. They put in all these ramps, these handicapped ramps, the walkways. Well, then the federal government comes out and says, well, wait, it's the wrong slope. We have different criteria for the slope of these handicapped ramps. So now, and the county is actively doing it, they're tearing up all the existing ones we were just put in the last couple of years and putting in brand new ones. I'm sure Don will back me up on that.
We're doing it ourselves every time we do a job.
We're doing ourselves. I mean, this is the government work. Our money is being wasted. When I hear these things, it just boggles my mind. So everybody keep in mind, somehow we got to fight whatever needs to be fought. But just to continue on, I noticed that the Cap Bank is on here. It's the introduction anyway. Could somebody explain why we need a cap bank? I mean, is it mandated that it always has to be on the agenda to vote?
Well, we talked about it at the budget meeting, so basically, I think it deserves a vote, one way or the other, it should be on. It's something that each municipality goes through for a vote, so.
It doesn't have to be, I know you're talking about it, how does that be? But I'm just wondering.
I mean, I'm not the auditor, so I don't want to say 100% for sure.
Well, it's an ordinance, so it's an ordinance, so an ordinance has to be voted on.
So it's like a housekeeping thing, after the budget, you have to vote on the cap
You have to
bank?
before the budget. It has to be
I mean, before-
introduced and adopted before the budget. Otherwise, you can't do it like later in the year.
All right, well, once it's to be voted on, then I'll discuss it further. And maybe it'll be discussed later on, but, and this is historic, I mean, the mayor actually vetoed something, and I don't think there's ever been a veto done by the Garwood mayor in
Yes, there was. The
The
last mayor.
Quattrocchi?
Yes.
Wow, I don't recall that.
What was it for?
The repeal of longevity, she vetoed it, and then we passed it forward to, and then the session ended, and it went to a new year, and we passed it forward, but no, she didn't veto it. But there was a veto, that was 2012, I think.
All right, it's not historic, but obviously for the record, I mean, could the veto be explained by whatever party, I guess, the mayor?
Yes.
And thank you very much. You can explain it
The
later.
statement's on the agenda, if you want to read it. Yes, it's there.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else, please? Sue McCormick?
Rich McCormick, 101 Fourth Avenue. I really don't have a lot of, I don't know, I guess know-how what I'm going to say, but Mr. Nierstedt said there was a 10 million and a 4 million based on two different towns, and Garwood's only going to get 18,000. But something tells me that with those big communities and our little community, what would be the gain of us to do X amount of handicap ramps? Is that the way I'm taking it, for us to gain more money? And with that said, I don't want to point him out, but wasn't Mr. Nierstedt on the planning board when the senior citizen housing was approved? And why weren't those handicap ramps put in then in that surrounding area?
They were, Mr. McCormick, they exist there today.
Excuse me?
They were required as part of the approval.
Are they there now?
Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you.
You will.
So what would be our benefit to us from 18,000 to get to that for $10 million? I guess I'm addressing you at this point.
I can speak to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Very good. Okay, seeing none, we'll ask for an adjournment of this meeting.
So move, Mayor.
All in favor?
Aye.
We just continue on it? Okay. I'd like to offer a moment of silence to Joanne Thorlson, one of the fire chief's wife. She has passed this past week. Offer a moment of silence to her. And also continue on with the salute to the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Westfield Leader and Union County local source, advertised on January 7, 2016. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and promptly posted on the Municipal Public Bulletin Board and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk, informing the public of time and place according to provisions to the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Everyone, please at least silence your phone or turn them off this evening. Roll call, Ms. Ariano.
Mayor Lombardo?
Here.
Councilman Kukrow?
Here.
Councilman Martin?
Here.
Councilman Matthew?
Here.
Councilman Sarno?
Here.
Councilman Fidisco?
Here.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Here. Minutes, please, Ms. Ariano.
Regular workshop and executive session minutes of the mayor and council held on March 8, 2016. Special budget meeting minutes of March 10 and March 17, 2016.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Communications, Ariana.
New Jersey State League of Municipalities, Mayor's Advisories.
Receive and file.
Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders Ordinances.
Receive and file.
Township of Union Resolution.
Receive and file.
Bill Mearstead, COA Affordable Housing Numbers.
Receive and file. Ordinances, introduction. Ms. Ariana, please read ordinance 16-01 by title only.
Yes, Mayor, an ordinance to revise for revised rate schedule for 2016 pursuant to 134-16, rate schedule Article 5 Industrial Waste and Fees in Chapter 134 Sewage of the Florida Borough Code according to the industrial user charge provided for in in 134-15.
Do we have an introduction for ordinance 16-03?
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 16-03, Mayor.
Do I have a second? Roll call, please, Ms. Ariana.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Disco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
Ms. Ariana, please read ordinance 16-04 by title only.
Calendar year 2016, ordinance to establish a cafe, NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
Do I have a motion to introduce 16-04?
I'll make a motion to introduce 16-04, Mayor.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariana.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Disco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
Good. Moving right along, council standing committees, reports and other reports. Police, Councilman Sarno.
Thank you, Mayor. On March 16th at approximately 2 p.m., officers responded to 402 Hazel for a report of a house fire. Chief Underhill, Lieutenant Wright, and Officer Ostrander responded and found that the front door of the residence and surrounding wall was fully engulfed in flames, which were spreading quickly up the front of the house. Officers Wright and Ostrander quickly deployed the fire extinguishers from their patrol vehicles and knocked the fire down before it could spread further. Entrance to the home was gained via a rear door, only to find that the house thick with smoke. Nevertheless, officers entered the home and performed a search of the interior for occupants. Fortunately, the search determined that no one was in the home and the fire was isolated to the front door area. The fire department responded, and after determining its cause as an oversight on the homeowner's part, they pronounced the scene secure. Although there was damage to the front entrance of the home and interior smoke damage throughout, the residence was saved from extensive and catastrophic damage due to the quick actions of the officers on scene. In addition, the surrounding residents were spared any damage to their homes as well. Chief Underhill would like to recognize the efforts of Lieutenant James Wright and Officer Joseph Ostrander, as well as the alert of residents who reported the fire by phone. That's all from my report, and a great job well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to our officers. Thank you very much. Continue on. Any comments about the report? No? Continue on. Public Health, Councilwoman Kukrow.
Thank you, Mayor. It was a pretty extensive meeting that night. There was a lengthy discussion about another food establishment having recurring and nonstop health safety infractions with repeated warnings, hand washing, no gloves, improper food temperatures. Also, the sanitizer element in the dishwasher was not working properly. They made a conscientious decision to bring this establishment back before the board for a hearing. This establishment was already closed for 2 days for past offenses, so the consensus is they are not taking this as seriously as it should be taken. Food contamination is a very important issue, and how many times should they have this much difficulty keeping the establishment up to code and in compliance? I certainly know where I'm not eating. Number 3, another discussion about creating an ordinance to prohibit the sale of nicotine delivery products and the sale of tobacco to persons under the age of 21. This is like my local ordinance, a local ordinance. We're becoming the least free nation on the planet Earth. At any rate, although the known effects from use are dire and obvious, only one person spoke up in response to this ordinance. Everyone was going to form their own opinion, but I would concur with her sentiments with the same tried and true story: people can fight in wars and not smoke. The Zika virus was discussed at length also at this meeting, and the Department of Disease Control is suggesting that everyone have a care while traveling, as this is turning into a real issue being spread through mosquitoes, obviously, and transferable from mother to child, a pregnant woman to her fetus. As of this February 1st, there have not been any confirmed cases through blood transfusions, but multiple reports from transfusions in Brazil are being investigated. It is also transmitted through sexual contact from men to their partners, so thank you, gentlemen, for sharing. Thank you, Mayor, that's all.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none, streets and roads, Ecology Council President Petrozelli.
Thank you, Mayor. The Department of Public Works completed the following from March 9th to the March 22nd. Reoccurring activities to perform residential household waste pickup twice weekly on north and south sides of the borough, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Fueled all vehicles and equipment at the Union County Public Works Complex in Scotch Plains. Provided white good appliance pickup at various times weekly throughout the borough. And checked and treat reoccurring problems in sewer lines for routes on a weekly basis. Perform maintenance and miscellaneous public works vehicles and equipment as needed. Remove miscellaneous roadside debris along North and South Avenue. Cleaned up litter and debris throughout the grounds at the Sports and Recreation Complex. Other miscellaneous activities, continued clearing the debris from the tops of all stormwater drains, inlets on north and south side of the borough. Picked up the debris and litter from both sides of the underpass, sidewalk on Center Street. Cut and remove broken branches in various locations of the borough. Power wash all de-icing equipment within the fleet. Remove the snow plows from all the public works vehicles. Installed the defibrillator storage container in the wall at the police department and completed major pothole repairs along the following areas: Cedar Street, intersection of Spruce Avenue and West Street, East Street, 300 block of Hickory, and West Street, and a total of 4 tons of hot mix asphalt was used for these repairs. Cleaned up leaves, branches, and winter debris at the entire sports and recreation complex in preparation of the annual Borough Easter egg. Transport file boxes from the Borough Mall to the storage facility. Remove leaves and debris from the dead end of 4th Avenue and the cul-de-sac of 4th Avenue. Also put up new street sign at the corner of Hickory and Lexington Avenues, and that's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the report? Hearing none, we'll move on to fire. Councilman Kukrow.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Finance, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Laws and License, Councilman Martin.
No report.
Thank you. Recreation, Councilman Martin.
No report.
Thank you. Broadwood Senior Citizens Liaison, Councilwoman Kukrow.
Thank you, Mayor. The group on last week wanted me to put forward to Chief Underhill, which I will put forward to Mr. Sarno. Was there any way to block calls that show up as unknown on their cell or their home phone? They're having a lot of spam, I guess, calls via the telephone. There is also an excellent speaker, Dr. Michael Hazuka, a physical therapist, about fall prevention. He showed a presentation for about 40 minutes. It was very informative, and everybody said it was very helpful to avoid a possible accident and tips to follow and what to do if they find themselves in a precarious spot. One of the group, and this pertains to Councilman Petrozelli, was very thankful to see the sign back up on Lexington and Hickory, and she greatly appreciates it and wants to thank you very much. Lunch with pizza with peppers was very delicious for a change of pace, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Any comments on the senior report? Hearing none, the library's mayor representative, Council President Petrozelli.
Thank you, Mayor. The fourth grade Girl Scout troop enjoyed their sleepover at the library on March 18th. They ate pizza and played team building games, including Giant Jenga, and the activities were capped off with popcorn and movie Soul Surfer. Most of the girls were asleep by 12:30. On Wednesday afternoon, March 30th, during Lincoln School's spring break, the library will be showing the movie Goosebumps, followed by some Goosebumps themed fun. On Thursday, April 7th at 7 p.m., the library will host Destination Las Vegas, a musical journey. And we'll pay homage to legendary Las Vegas headliners, including Bobby Darin, Judy Garland, Elvis Presley, and Frank Sinatra. April is National Library Month. We will be celebrating with Amnesty Week, April 11th through 16th. During this week, there will be no fines collected for any overdue items returned during this week, no matter how long the items are overdue. No questions asked. On April 16th at 11 a.m., the library will host a reception in honor of the National Library Month with refreshments. And as always, the library has many other ongoing programs, including the Knitting Club Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m., book clubs, adult ed Thursdays and Tuesdays at noon, ESL Tuesdays at 2 p.m., parent-child knitting Wednesdays at 6 p.m., toddler story time Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m., Friday mornings movies, Friday at 10 a.m., and the Lego Club, 2 Thursdays a month at 3 p.m. The library is open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Fridays from 9 a.m. to 4:30, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The library will be closed Friday, March 25th, and Saturday, March 26th for the Easter holiday. That's all from my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the library board report?
When's the amnesty for the books?
That's April 11th through 16th.
I wish I would have known that 2 weeks ago. It was a Seinfeld episode. It was like I funded the library for a year.
On behalf of the library, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, school board liaison, councilman sign-up.
Thank you, Mayor. The school board met Tuesday, March 15th, and tentatively approved an $8.98 million budget for the 2016-2017 school year Tuesday night, a tax hike of 1.3% from last year. The board also honored 2 former board members, Barbara Green and Adele Lewis, and announced the retirement of 3 longtime teachers, Teresa Boletto, Janine Koch, and Diane Ristow. The 7th grade honor students were honored, although many of them were competing in the health meet held by the Westfield Area Y at the time of the meeting. By evening's end, Lincoln School Principal Mary Emmons announced that Garwood had finished 3rd in the competition and had won the School Spirit Award. Job well done by our students. Thank you. That's all for my report.
Thank you, I'm just making a note here. Any comments on the school board report? Hearing none, celebration of public events and holiday liaison, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the last meeting of the Celebrations Committee on March 16th, which mainly focused on preparing for the egg hunt. The annual egg hunt was held at the Garwood Recreation Complex this past weekend on March 19th, and it was a huge success. It was the largest turnout in years with at least 180 to 200 people in attendance. The toddler through pre-K age group was most well participated in compared to past years when actually it was the kindergarten and 1st grade group that had the most children participating. In addition to the 3 egg hunts, many prizes were raffled off to the children. I want to thank the volunteers of the Celebrations Committee, as well as other volunteers that pitched in for all their time and hard work preparing for the event, including filling countless eggs and wrapping countless prizes. And of course, I would like to give a shout out to the Easter Bunny for making an appearance right here in Garwood. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the celebrations report? Hearing none, Union County Air Traffic Noise Advisory Board Representative, Councilman Matthews.
No report, Mayor. Next meeting actually is going to be on Monday, the 28th. Not to put anybody on the spot, but I am not able to attend. So if there's anybody who's free, please contact me.
Thank you. Administrative Review Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Historical Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the last meeting of the Historical Committee on March 14th. The preparation work for the rededication of the Recreation Complex, which will be held on June 12th, continues. Also, the committee discussed the Hartman family's generous donation of a new sign for Hartman Park. I passed along the family's contact information and their correspondence with Councilman Matthew to the committee. The committee welcomes this kind donation and would like to help with the unveiling of such a sign if the family would be so inclined. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the report, historical? I do have one. I was out with one of your members today, and we were looking at the signs at the Little League field, because there is no Hartman sign up right now. So I'm just going to ask the county if they could give us some kind of quote, the sign similar to one that's on the front gate of the Little League. So just a little point of information. Happened today.
Do I have to ask what member? Just kidding.
I have to see you in about 10 minutes, I hope.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Officers' reports. Ms. Ariema.
The Chief of Police Bruce Underhill monthly reports for February 2016. Lindy Stano zoning code enforcement officer monthly reports for February 2016. Municipal Court Administrator Martin Marino monthly report for February 2016.
Do I have a motion to accept the officers' reports?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move on to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone. Please state your full name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi, everyone. Chris Scola, 25 2nd Avenue. There's been a lot of publicity and discussion in the Westfield Leader, and there's flyers around town about the proposed development in Casal Industries. And I was just kind of curious as to why none of that is ever brought up at council meetings. If all of a sudden, or maybe I'm missing something, all of a sudden there's, okay, we want to do this, we want to do that, and I just...
If I may, I'll answer that, because I am on the plan with Councilman Matthew. It is in the process of being voted on at the next meeting. Once that is approved or not approved, I'm sorry, it's at the planning board. It's currently at the planning board, and that meeting is tomorrow night.
Oh, right, I
And there is a
understand that.
vote on that application, and once that is accepted, it'll come forward. If not, they'll have to do some more work on it. Then the council gets a chance to review it, and I know we're gonna have a public meeting on it, all these particulars of that development. So that's why we haven't talked about it yet. It's still in the planning board's hands.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to step forward, please? Seeing none. The unfinished business, consent agenda. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Morton. Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Tedisco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
We have one resolution to read from the consent agenda, 2016 municipal budget, resolution number 16-182. Do I have a motion to introduce the municipal budget?
I will make that motion, Mayor.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Tedisco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on, unfinished business. Ms. Ariano?
I inserted this here because I really didn't know where else to put it, but Mayor Lombardo has read ordinance 1602 for his reasons stated below. Does council want me to read that out loud?
I would like to.
Okay. This is Mayor Lombardo's statement. I am vetoing ordinance 1602 because I have always been supportive of our councilman retaining his health insurance. The statute in question has been stated many times before, and I will take this stand until the law is changed. We have had two legal professional opinions state that our councilman is entitled to health insurance as he is grandfathered under the law. He has a legal right to maintain his insurance through the borough. If brought to suit, the insurance company covering Garwood will not defend it. I cannot jeopardize or put at risk our community for another potential lawsuit that we cannot win, costing the taxpayers more money for something that is obviously governed by state law. Thank you, Charles Lombardo, Mayor of Garwood. It was received on March 15, 2016. I'll read the rest. The procedure to pass is over veto. Do you want me to read this, Mayor and Council?
No, I can tell you what the procedure is. If there's any desire to move to override the veto, somebody has to move it, somebody has to second it. It requires 4 affirmative votes. I think we all already know that, so that's the procedure. If someone wants to move it, if not, we'll on to the next item.
Does someone want to move it, or we should continue on? Hearing none, we'll continue on. Does the council have any new business this evening? Hearing none, payment of claims. Ms. Ariano?
Be it resolved, the following claims as approved be and the same are hereby ordered paid when properly signed and verified, and the payment of payrolls as is hereby confirmed and ratified.
Do I have a motion for payment of claims?
So moved, Mayor?
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Tedisco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
Okay, the regular meeting of the Mayor and Council will be held on Tuesday, April 12th, 2016, in Council Chambers at 7:15 p.m. Workshop session will start at 7 p.m. There will be a public hearing in Council Chambers on ordinance number 16-03 and 16-04 on Tuesday, April 12th, 2016, at 7:15 or soon thereafter. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you and happy Easter.
Yes.
Good job, Mayor.
Yeah.